everyone, I am Claudia Williams and I have got Dr. Joe Pankey here with me today, and we're going to give you your crop progress report from your Andersons, Louisiana location. We're here today in a cornfield that's about 30 miles west of our Delhi facility. This particular field was planted on March the 20th, and I'd say probably 70% of our corn was planted right there around that time. Some of our producers a little closer to the Mississippi River had a little more difficulty getting their corn planted on time due to extensive rainfall, which resulted in the Mississippi River remaining above flood stage for record-setting period of time. But like I said, the majority was planted here by the end of March. However, due to some untimely weather events we had earlier this year, we've seen slowed plant development and a weaker root system. Because of this, we're expecting yields to be anywhere from 165 to 195 bushels per acre. This is a little off from previous year's yields, which are usually closer to 200 bushels per acre. Do you want to go take a look?
Yeah, let's go take a look, Claudia. If you notice on these plants, most of the lower leaves have senesced. You can start to see some nitrogen deficiency. That's just because the plants are starting to shut down. The leaves above the ear are green. The stalk is still showing some green because the plant is not completely shut down. Looking at these ears, the milk line has basically disappeared, and we're right at black layer. These plants are probably about 2 weeks from harvest. Black layer is about 30 to 35% moisture. So if we have good conditions to dry this crop down, we should be able to harvest in about 2 weeks.
So now we are here in front of a soybean field that was planted on May the 2nd. In a normal crop year, beans are usually planted closer to April the 15th, but with some of the inclement weather we saw earlier this planting season, beans ended up being planted a little bit later. In addition to that, I would say 10% of our beans were planted maybe more towards the middle of May due to intended corn acres getting switched to bean acres after multiple corn replant attempts. Even after all the obstacles we have faced so far this year, our bean crop is really looking phenomenal. However, I will add the past 3 years we've had very promising bean crops, and this unruly, unpredictable Louisiana weather has caused us to see reduced yields and extensive amounts of damage. But as it stands right now, we are really looking at a beautiful bean crop and expecting yields to be anywhere from 65 to 85 bushels per acre, and we're looking forward to a great harvest.
These beans have hit about R6. If you look at the field, they've hit that what we call a squatty look. They've stopped growing vegetatively. Everything's going into reproductive phase. They've really lapped the row. This is a real pretty field. Weed control has been excellent. If you look at one of these plants, so we're looking at about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. About 8 nodes with this particular plant. It actually looks like it lost some apical dominance and the terminal split on it. But you've got about 32 or 33 pods on this particular plant. This particular plant's not that tall. There are definitely some taller in the field. Here's one 4-bean pod on this plant. And we'll take a look at, if you'll hold this for me, Claudia, thank you. So when you open these pods up and you can look at these particular beans, this particular field is in R6, which going along with the 1st of May planting, that puts it right on schedule. A little later than what we expect. As Claudia mentioned, most of our beans are planted between the 10th and 20th of April. So we're a little bit behind, but just due to the inclement weather. These beans really have not had a lot of stress. Any stress between R4 and R6 will really impact yield. We really haven't had that on this bean crop. So we really had a good growing season once we got the crop in the ground. So as Claudia mentioned, 60 to 80 bushel yields. I think that's pretty much in line with what we've been seeing in the field, and I expect a good bean crop.
As you all know, this market is ever changing, so please, I want to encourage you to stay in close contact with your Andersons account representative for marketing solutions and risk management tools for not only the remainder of this year, but also for 2020. Thank y'all for watching.